Hello, Medicare Adventurers! My name is Chris Tucker, your Medicare guide, and today we are going to talk about Part D. Now, just as a reminder, Part D is the drug portion of your Medicare coverage. All right? Now, you may be asking, Chris, how do I know what my Part D covers? How do I know if my drugs are covered? And how much are they going to cost me? Today, we're going to talk about those things. So first of all, if you want to know whether or not a drug is covered in the plan, you can look up the plan's formulary. Okay? And the formulary has the list of all the different drugs that particular carrier chooses to cover, and the formulary will let you know what drug tier that particular drug is at. And we're going to talk about drug tiers more in actually a separate video. So we're not going to explore that right now. But the important thing to know is the formulary does two things for you. As a review, it tells you whether or not the drug is covered, and it also lets you know what tier the drug is. And the tier will be important because that will let you know what the cost of the drug is with that particular plan. Now today, as I go over the different steps in coverage or the different tiers of coverage, this is based on the general guidelines that the government has for 2021. Okay, so if you're watching this video at a time when it's not 2021, then you'll know that this information is old and would not be applicable as far as the exact numbers. Although currently all these different stages that we're going to be talking about have been in place for many years. So at least understanding the stages are important as you're looking at different plans and determining which plan would be the best fit for your health as well as lifestyle. So let's go ahead and start getting into the different stages of the plan. And I don't know about you, but I love food. And so let's relate this to a donut. And yes, chocolate sparkles, many people's favorites. So today, when we look at this, we're going to look at the coverage that happens before, during, in the middle, because there's going to be a gap or a donut hole, as it's regularly called, and then after, as we continue through. So let's start out with the first part, before. That is the deductible. The government for 2021, as a reminder, has dictated that the highest an insurance company can charge for a deductible is $445. Okay, so many plans do not have deductibles, other plans do. So just be mindful as you're looking over the different options that you have. Be mindful and knowledgeable of whether or not your plan has a deductible, because like a medical deductible, before the plan actually goes into the effect, before you actually even get into the donut, and that coverage is there for you, you must pay $445 at the most. Again, if there is a deductible, and that is completely out of your own pocket. Then we have what's called the initial coverage stage. All right. And the initial coverage stage runs from when the deductible is, so at zero, up, or not at zero, but after that 445, up to $4,130. And that is including copays. That is including different, different discounts that the carrier provides to you, if they do provide any discounts, as well as the actual cost of the drug to the insurance carrier themselves. So this $4,130 may not reflect the actual amount that comes out of your own pocket, but is more of a reflection of the total cost of the drugs that you are taking, also to the insurance company as well. Then the next stage, this little hole we have right here, is the gap, also known as the donut hole. And with the donut hole, you are responsible, again, at the most, for 25% of your total drug cost. Okay? Now, this donut hole does not last, generally speaking, very long, depending upon the drugs you're taking. And individuals who usually hit this gap are taking many drugs, or at least drugs that are very high cost. And when you hit $6,500 $550, then you enter what is called catastrophic coverage. You no longer have to pay 25%. In fact, in many cases, you're only paying between 5 to possibly 15% of the total drug cost that you have. But you would have that responsibility at the most until the end of the calendar year. So, quick review. We have a $445 deductible. Initial coverage stage is $4,130. When you hit that, you then go into the donut hole or the gap, which means you're responsible for 25% of your total drug cost. And then, once you hit $6,550, you enter what is called, you go out of the donut hole and you go into what is called catastrophic coverage, which then is in effect until the end of the calendar year. So be mindful, this is calendar year timeframe, not policy year timeframe. And so if you are thinking about changing a plan mid-year, recognize that you will have to start this process with the new carrier or the new plan, even if you're with the same carrier, all over again. So if the plan you left had a deductible and then your plan you're going to has a deductible, you could possibly have to pay 2 deductibles within the same calendar year. And so you have to assess, is it worth it with the benefits that you're receiving from that plan to be able to recoup in some way that deductible cost? Thank you so much for joining me today as we talked about the general guidelines of Part D. As I mentioned earlier, your Part D or your prescription drug coverage may look very different from this, but this is the standard that the government has, and this is the most that an insurance carrier can ask of any Medicare beneficiary or Medicare Adventure such as yourself. If you have questions about your particular medical or medication coverage, or you have questions about whether or not the plan you're on is the best one for you, please don't hesitate to give me a call. My phone number is 480-712-7836. Again, that is 480-712-7836. I look forward to helping you on your next adventure, and I hope you will join me this next week. Take care.